Welcome to The Table, the podcast where we share real stories, struggles, and victories as we walk together in faith. We're kicking off a new series today, and I'm really excited for this one. If you've been with us for any amount of time, you know the heart of the last several months has been pointing us back to Jesus. He's the answer to our small struggles and big problems. He's the hope when we feel hopeless, the strength when we feel defeated. So join us as we talk about why this series and some encouragement if you're just overwhelmed listening to the description. So come to the table with Jenna and I for this week's episode.
Hi, welcome back. Here we are having another conversation. How's it going? How are you feeling?
Everything's good.
Yeah. I think last time we did this, I was on like the high of fall break and restfulness and like everything was just so peaceful, and now we're very much in the thick of fall. So I feel different today than I did the last time I saw you when we recorded, but things are going good. Are y'all busy? What's happening in the Johnson household?
We're finishing up soccer and starting basketball.
Okay, crazy times.
That's about it. Yes.
Lots of schedules to juggle. All right, so we're in a new series. This is going to be our new series. You're hearing it here first. We're going to talk about, well, okay, I want to share with you my train of thought, and I guess with our listeners too, like how I got here, why this is on my heart. We spent the whole summer talking about truth and lies and basically saying that Jesus is our hope and he is the answer to all the things, which is true, he is. And then we just spent, I don't know how many weeks, talking about different seasons that we will go through. And what we learned is that the Lord orchestrates our steps. He knows all these things. He's in all these seasons. And he is with us as we go through them. Like life was never meant to be the same all the time. It's always going to change. We're always going to be facing new things. And so
Mhm.
with all of that, with all that conversation, I really think that we should kind of go back to the basics. This is a really busy time of year for me. I don't think I'm alone in that. I think it's busy for everyone. We're jumping into not only fall and the changing of seasons, and now the days are shorter and the time inside is more, but we're about to start the holiday season, which is chaos usually, especially for moms with children, for women in general, I think. And so I, for my own self, needed the reminder that in these times of busyness, I really have to focus on my relationship with the Lord because that's when I'm tempted to let things kind of drift or fall off.
Right.
And so I just thought we could talk about really practically what some of those things look like. I just thought we could talk about some of those different ways that we grow in our relationship with the Lord. So there's a list of things that we have that we're going to talk about. We'll have some guests that come on and talk about what those things look like in their life too. But coming off the heels of all the seasons talk, can you think of a particular season in your life where you really felt your relationship with the Lord grow?
I, it's crazy, but I think my relationship with him grows the most when I'm at my lowest. Um, I guess it really reiterates the verse in the Bible that tells us that when we're weak, he's strong. I have grown the most in seasons of loss, and grief, but also when there's been injury or surgery or unexpected things to happen where they're just completely out of my control, and a loved one or a friend is sitting in a hospital bed. Um, there have been multiple seasons where I feel at my lowest, where I'm losing control or I realize I have none. Um, it's in those moments that I feel like my relationship grows with the Lord the most because I'm so I realize how dependent I am on him. And I guess that when I get in the higher moments of life where, you're just going along and it's just everything's fine, um, that I don't lean on him as closely as I should, as I do in those low moments. And I think that as I'm having kids who are teenagers, and every decision is a big decision, and praying through everything that we do, I'm really realizing how important it is to stay close to him all the time if I want my relationship with him to be strong all the time. I shouldn't just want him in those low moments. I need him in every moment.
That makes perfect sense. And I think so many people are going to be encouraged because a lot of people are in a season right now of real heartache and heartbreak and struggle. And to know that that's some of the times when you grow the closest to the Lord, when you're fully dependent on Him, is going to be really encouraging. We've had a conversation about this recently, just about how our families, the families around us, are just being hit so hard right now. People are facing really hard things. And though we know that's not because of the Lord, right? Like we know that's the enemy working in our lives, trying to pull us away from Him, from the Lord. And so I think that's going to be really encouraging to hear. That's my same experience. I think when I feel like I can't do it, when I'm to the point where I'm like, I cannot actually take the next step, those are the moments when I depend on Him and I kind of like let it go. And I find myself in that place more and more often as I get older, I guess.
Like, yes, we can blame, so to speak, the adversary for a lot of the things that we're facing. Like, we live in a fallen world. The adversary is seeking to destroy those that are the Lord's, that He's out to get us. That's truthful. But here's the other thought to that. Like, it's double-sided in the fact that we can blame it on the adversary, but we can also blame it on sin. A lot of times we just forget the fact that we're human and that we're sinful, and this world is fallen. And the Bible tells us that in this world you will have tribulation. You're going to have hard times. It's inevitable. But then it goes on to say, but take heart. I, the Lord, have overcome the world. And I think we lose focus of that when we get in those low places. We can get so low that we start looking inward instead of upward. And it all goes back to the Lord. He knows these hard things that we're going to face, these low moments, these hard seasons. But He also sent His Son so that those hard seasons don't make such a big deal when you think of how good and how gracious our Father is.
Yeah, he is so good. And there's a fly. That was definitely a fly that just landed on my face. Um, I love that you said that. I think we do have to remember that I don't know what the fly is flying for. We got to remember that and keep that perspective. Something that I've thought a lot about this topic, and I'm really guilty of this, is we don't do any of the things that we're going to talk about over the next number of weeks for the Lord. Like, He doesn't need me to do any of those things for Him. I do them because they bring me closer to Him. They are practices that point my heart towards Him. It's not like He needs me to show up and read my Bible for an hour every day because He needs me to. He knows that that's what's best for me. And that's an example. But I can be very performative focused. And I think sometimes when we talk about these different practices or ways that we cultivate our relationship with the Lord, as moms, as women in general, we can say, okay, give me my checklist. I'll make a list. And I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to check them all off, and then I'm done for the day. And I've met the mark. But that's really not that's not the purpose and that's not the point. We have to be so careful that our heart's in the right place. Like, this truly is about growing our relationship with the Lord and bringing us closer to Him. How would you encourage other women, mamas, wives, as they think about and listen to these conversations that we're going to have in the next couple weeks?
Well, our relationship and growing in faith with Him or in Him, it's not a to-do list. It's not a point on my to-do list. It is part of my life. It needs to be a part of my life, and it must come first. He must come first. Any practice of His that's going to grow me closer to Him must come first in my life. And a lot of times when you're in a busy place in your life, when you're momming or when you're just working so much, we often put Him last. Maybe I should say I often put Him last. And that does me no good. And I think that I'm doing myself a favor by taking care of all the other things that I'm allowed to do in a day. But when I put Jesus last, when I put the Lord last, everything feels so hard or so tedious, when the Bible in Matthew 6 tells us to seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all the other things will be added unto you. And I lose sight of that, and I don't put Him first. But I think it's so important that all of these practices, we remember they're not a point or a dot on our to-do list. I think we should see it more as a gift and more of an opportunity to do every single day. We get to be in relationship with God, and that's all because of Jesus. And if I don't put forth that effort, then I'm missing out. He's still the same with or without me. And so if I want that relationship with Him, then I have to work at it. It's like any other relationship in my life. You have to work at it. It should be an honor and a gift that I get to go to God.
I love that you talk about, or that you use the word points, because I think sometimes in my life, I'll think I did this and I did this and I did this, and so like I'm good. I have maintained that relationship, or I have like put in my part, but actually there's not a single thing I can do or not do that makes Him love me more. This has nothing to do with points. This is really just He has given us the practices in the Word to like guide us in growing in Him. And it was all for us in the first place. Like, it's all to bring us closer to Him. So this is not, we're going to give lots of really practical things. I hope that we're going to talk about what these things look like in our life, or what I wish they looked like in my life, and what they look like in other people's lives. But this is not like, if you don't do this thing, you're not meeting the mark, because He can take 5 minutes of me reading the Word or me in prayer and my heart's in the right place, and He can use it the same as He can me spending, an hour in deep study about a particular topic with my heart in the right place. So He'll take whatever and He'll make it work. But this is not about brownie points. There's no scoring brownie points with the Lord.
Mhm.
Okay, as we wrap up here, I'm gonna like, for our listeners, it's a busy season, so we want this to be a conversation not just with Jenna and I, but like, we want you to participate in this. So follow along with us on social media, because we want to hear from you. Like, I don't need to just hear myself talk about these things. I want to hear from other people. And then also, we're going to share about the upcoming practice, whatever it is, for the next week's episode on Mondays. I'm trying to help the editing process a little bit, and so I think if you'll check out our stories on Mondays, you'll be able to hear what we're talking about and get a little snippet of the episodes coming up. Anything else, Jenna, that you want to say, like, just to get everybody ready for these conversations?
I would say that I've grown up my whole life hearing about these different spiritual practices or things that I should be doing to grow closer to the Lord. I know of them, but it's not until I actually put them into practice that I get to grow from them.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important is that we think that because I have a career or because I have a home to manage or I have children to rear, or I have a husband that needs my full attention right now, we think that those things must all come first. Um, and I think we get it backwards so often. If I would put these spiritual practices into place before I think of anything else, before I think of any other role that I feel, if I would put my spiritual practices into place and my relationship with the Lord first, everything else would fall into place and be much more manageable because I've put the Lord first. And I think that would be something that it's taken me a long time to figure out that I'm getting out of this what I put in it. And there are weeks when things with my kids or my home feel really hard, and I step back and realize I haven't been in the Word today. Or you can, as I get older, I realize like I'm getting what I put in it. And if I don't put something forth into the Lord, I'm not going to get anything back. And I really, really want my relationship with God to be stronger than ever the closer that I get to this side of heaven. Like the closer I get to home, I want to be closer to the Lord. And I'm sorry, I think that it took me so long to realize that some of the people that I admire and that I look up to or have looked up to, I saw this in them. Their spiritual practices came first, being in the Word, being in prayer, being in fellowship, talking to the Lord daily, worshiping Him daily, and multiple times a day. And those are things that it's taken me so long to figure out. And I think I would encourage everyone to put in what you want out of it because He will bless even the smallest thing. But I want more than just the smallest thing. Give me more of Jesus.
Yes, that's so good. I heard this quote one time, and they were talking about Christians and how I'm never going to accidentally follow Jesus. It's never going to just be in my nature that I make the choices that follow Jesus.
That's
It's
right.
how he changes me and how I lean into him that's going to make me follow him, not me on my own.
That's right.
So I'm so glad. That was so encouraging. I would encourage everyone who is listening to us, like there are several of these practices we're going to talk about. I can just feel the overwhelm in some people as they think about starting something maybe new or committing to something that they haven't done consistently. Like, don't be overwhelmed. I would just challenge you to each week, whatever it is that we're going to talk about, just try it for a week. Like, just set aside a small, however amount of time you want to try it and see what happens because you're right, he'll bless whatever we do.
And I think you have to, well, I'm still learning this too, but it's not all about me either. It's not about like going to church, being in the Word, things of that nature. I can't go into those things thinking, what will I get out of this?
Hmm.
My whole point is to glorify the Lord and worship Him and bring honor to His name, not mine. And so if I go into everything with what am I going to get out of this? How's this going to help me? Yeah, it's going to help you. And yeah, you're going to get something out of it if you put something into it. But I think our focus has become so like self-centered. What will this do for me? What is it doing for the Lord? How is this honoring the Lord? And how are we gaining souls for Him? And I think that needs to be our seek first Him. Seek Him first. This is not about me. I think the whole goal in going back to the basics is going back to the Father. and remembering that it's all about him. Not one bit is about me.
That's so good. Anything else in your notes that you want to share?
Nope.
Okay, I'm excited. I hope everybody else is excited, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, Jenna.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming to the table. We hope today's conversation encouraged you as you seek Jesus in the big moments and the little ones. Check out the show notes for any scripture, resources, whatever we talked about today. Feel free to share this episode, leave a comment, ask a question, or share your thoughts with us. Come back and join us next week as we chat about the first of many spiritual practices that draw us closer to Jesus. If you haven't already, go follow or subscribe wherever you listen, and find us on socials to catch up if you don't have time to listen throughout the week. Also, just to add this in here, we know you have things to say, examples to share, practical how-to wisdom to give. So please take the opportunity this week to share with us and those around you. All right, we'll see you next time.